Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Armchair Booking Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host. My name is Sick Steve, and joining me as my co-host is Sick Dwaylen.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, see, and if you notice he doesn't sound real energetic, he's even sicker than I am. I think somehow, I passed on my sickness to him across the airwaves.
Yeah.
No fun, is it?
Oh no, it has been rough, and especially the body aches are just awful. I was telling Hope a little while ago. I'm like, I feel like that I've been in the ring with Mike Tyson for 12 rounds, and he was like, "No, you're never going to hit me, but I'm going to hit you every single time."
Yeah. Yeah, and I know I'm not even going to tell everybody what you texted me the one time. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, it is
little graphic, but
yeah, it has been rough.
Yeah.
And now Hope's got it too. She's having body aches and fever, and she's having terrible headache, and she's having some symptoms that I didn't have, but then a lot of symptoms that I still have, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, last year when Tawana and I both had it, she lost taste and smell. I never did. But the cough that I had, she had a little bit of a cough, but mine just lingered and lingered and lingered, just would not go away. In fact, I just feel like it's doing that. As soon as I start talking about it, I felt a little kid. Are you coughing? No, but so saying, and it is horrible, and that's one thing I remember, the body aches. They were just like, oh, just
just please stop.
Just stop. I'll take some more acetaminophen. I'll take more of it. Hey, give it give it all to me.
Yeah, just give me it all. Just please stop. Just especially let me sleep, because like I'd wake up hurting, and it's like it's hard to sleep like that.
Exactly, and you find yourself like getting yourself in all sorts of weird positions, right?
Yep.
It's like, because I'm not a stomach sleeper, but when I had it a couple weeks ago, partly because that's also when I cracked my rib too. So I was having to sleep in all sorts of weird, like across the bed and kind of, just, it's like, okay, there's no pressure there. Now if I can just sleep like this for the next 8 hours,
got one leg out like this and your arm up like this, trying to just relieve the pressure as much as you can.
Oh yeah, kind of like when you're adjusting antenna on the old TVs back in the day, the weird positions you get like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is also to make up for the episode we missed this past Thursday, because with us, our health does come first, and if we're too sick to record, we just won't do it, because at the end of the day, it is just a podcast, and as much as what we love recording, we love doing it, we love putting it out for our listeners, but we do have to look after our health first, because we can't jeopardize that. So
we got people that depend on us. So
So thank you everyone for your understanding. We do appreciate it. Because that's the second episode we've had to cancel like in the past 3 or 4 weeks, and because of same thing actually. I had it first, and then now you had it, but because if you can't sit up and if you're in a lot of pain, it's not going to do you any good to record.
Especially if you're coughing and hacking up stuff, and it's like it just wears you out. You don't have the energy to really do much of anything but lay down and try to rest.
And right now it is almost 2:10 in the afternoon, which is another weird time for us, because you can't see because of my lovely background that I have, but I have daylight coming in a window. Not used to that.
Yeah.
So but today we are going to be giving a preview of the Royal Rumble, which is going to be taking place in about 5 hours.
Yep.
At least the preview show is going to be starting in about 5 hours, and we're going to give we talk about all the matches, our opinions of some of the matches. Some of the opinions, I'll be honest with you, there's at least one match that I really don't have an opinion on, because I think it's stupid and I don't see the point in it. I'm pretty sure you can guess which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's just maybe that's their time filler. That's all right, everybody, you need to go pee now.
Go pee, hit the concession, do what you got to do.
Yeah, go change your oil. Go chop down a tree. Anything. Do your taxes. Actually, do your taxes during that time.
Yeah, because you're going to have time, because I can guarantee they're going to give them quite a bit of time.
Yeah, and but we're going to give our predictions on who we think should win and who we think will win. And I know at least in one of my cases, at least one of them is one of the same, and I think that usually pans out for both of us, I think. So I'm honestly lukewarm as far as looking forward to the Rumble, just because so much they've already told us.
I don't understand why they told all the surprise entrants. I don't understand why they tell who's going to be in the Rumble at all. It's
besides
just
besides a handful, because it adds to the intrigue,
yeah. Besides
But
a handful of your regular stars that are there all the time. But for me, part of the reason I've always loved the Rumble is the mystery of it. It's like who's coming out when, what, who's showing back up, things like this. If you give all that away on social media, then you wiped out the intrigue and you've lost a lot of people who are being like, well, I don't really care for anybody that's in the Rumble, so I'm not even going to waste my time watching it.
right. I mean, and it's one thing to say, okay, because they have some stipulation to this match, and now this person is going to be the number one entrant. Oh, okay, that's kind of a punishment for them.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you know that part. And every once in a while they'll have we know who's going to be number 30 because they won that in some match.
yeah. They won it in a match, or they did management a favor and got the number 30 spot as a reward or whatever. That kind of adds to the story, but just giving away, they should have never said that Mickey James was going to be there.
Oh, I know.
They should have left that as a surprise, because can you imagine? I mean, she's still going to get a huge pop because she's Mickey James, but can you imagine the pop if nobody saw it coming and her come out? That would be, that would be phenomenal. But of course, WWE's got to ruin everything. It's like, oh, we have social media, so we're just going to tell everything.
Yep. So, but yeah, we'll definitely be covering that. Plus the other matches, because with the two Rumbles, there's 6 matches, but we also know the two Rumbles the Rumbles generally last about an hour ish.
Yeah.
And I always say the ish because sometimes, I mean, it's like a few minutes under, sometimes a few minutes over, just kind of depends on how the things are going. And, I do want to cover some other news, but before we do that, I want to go ahead and give our contact listing info. If you would like to email us about anything, it's armchairbookingpodcast@gmail.com. Please email us. I'm so lonely over here when I check that thing. and I'm starting to get spam in there. And somehow I signed up for something that I don't remember signing up for. And, but I'm always looking forward to seeing something. And it's just crickets. Yep. So, but yeah, just email us at armchairbookingpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/armchairbookingpodcast. Find us on Instagram, same thing. They are connected. Find us on Twitter at Booking Armchair. Find us on TikTok at Armchair Booking, which, by the way, I have some ideas for some videos.
Okay.
That we can do. And even if I need to remember the password so I can give that to you. Okay. That's another one. It's actually the way it gets linked to my personal TikTok, which I also don't do anything with. But I think you should be able to get into it regardless. Same thing with the Twitter.
Okay.
So that way we can actually go in there and do stuff. But I do have some ideas for some videos that we can actually possibly post on there. We don't have a Snapchat because, I don't see the reason for having a Snapchat for this.
No.
I'll leave that to my daughter to do all her Snapchats. And obviously, if if you're watching on YouTube, but we actually have a YouTube channel now, and you can find us just about any audio platform that you can think of. If we're not there, let us know, and we'll get ourselves added. And yes, iHeartRadio, you suck. I'm just going to say it right now, because whatever problems you're having with people's podcasts, you need to fix them. Because don't tell me, it's not uploading. Well, no crap. That's why I called you.
Yeah, it's like, I know that, but it's like, can you fix the issue?
Yeah, can you, or at least tell me what I need to do to fix? I've done some things and nothing worked. And then we found out, I think we found out from Jay and Trey that iHeartRadio, apparently they've been having those issues across the board.
Yep.
So they say they're the number one for audio podcasts right now. I'm not buying it. So
no.
I'll go to Spotify. I'll go to Google Podcasts. I'll go to Apple Podcasts. In fact, if you're on Apple Podcasts, go give us a rating. Give us a 5-star review. Let us know how we're doing. Yeah, because that's the best one. And then there are some other ones that also do ratings as well. Good Pods is another one. That one actually really focuses on indie, but you can have any podcast on there. But on that one, I'm going to tell you, we are like the number 3 wrestling show on there.
Really?
Yeah, on Good Pods. So, and the number 3 indie wrestling show.
Cool.
And we also started showing up on just the overall sports. So
that's awesome.
So like, all right, cool. And we did get on Podbay. We did show up on the top 200 again. Of course, I don't get any kind of notifications until I see it like a few days later. But we cracked the top 200 again. So
yeah,
that's always cool. I mean, we don't do it just for the ratings, but it is nice to see that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we are being hosted by Blog Talk Radio. That's another good one. I mean, they do a pretty good job of that. So never had any issues with them. And for anybody who would like to have a shirt that looks like that, you can always go to our merch site. As you can tell, this right here. You go to tpublic.com/user/armchair-booking-podcast. And these are the designs we have right now. But these are just the designs which you can get just about anything over here that you can imagine, because I already have a mask. I also have a phone case. See, you can't really see it, but it's there it is. The phone case is actually with the slightly inverse design of the first one. It does still pop out a little bit, I think. And also I have my coffee mug, which I was drinking out of, and it insulates really, really well. Let me tell you, your coffee, as long as you obviously you got to keep the thing down, but as long as you keep that thing closed, it's going to keep it hot. Because I've had some other coffee mugs where within like 20 minutes later, all of a sudden my coffee is just cold. This one, it's not. And with that, I might as well enjoy some of my coffee as well. But that is our merch shop, and I do believe I've covered everything on how to get a hold of us and how to buy from us.
Yep, I believe so.
And Dwaylen's still waiting for her shirt to arrive. Now that's not our fault because the orders are made at the same time. My stuff came in 3 days later. Here it is a week and a half later, and apparently the post office out in West Paducah. Well, I don't even think it's them. I think it's the distribution before them.
Yeah.
It just kind of depends. I mean,
once like my post office actually gets stuff, then I get it quick. But a lot of it's the distribution center. They've been so behind on stuff. So
and also when I looked on a map of where your house is, I'm like, you know what? If I fly to Paducah, it's going to be really easy for him to come get me. I'll just walk across the runway there and go through a fence, and I'm right there.
Literally, if you go down my road and then you take a left, go down to the next road, take another left, the airport's right there.
So is that considered the Paducah airport? Okay.
Yep.
So there we go. I'll just have to, and we actually have a friend of ours. She actually has her pilot's license. Now I don't know if she has a plane, but I know she goes out and flies every once in a while. I'll say, hey, can you fly me down to Paducah? So, but there are a couple of other news items before we really get started the Rumble. I don't know if you saw, but Vince McMahon's mother passed away.
I did. I saw that on Twitter this morning.
101 years old. I mean, that's a pretty full life.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she was still living down in North Carolina or if she was living closer to Vince, but
I think they said she was in Texas.
Texas? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Vince grew up in Havelock, North Carolina. And but 101.
Yeah.
I mean, she was older than Betty White.
Yep.
So that makes me kind of wonder, how Vince is going to be tonight.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to, I'm sure he'll be there, but I don't know how. If it was me, it would be hard for me to concentrate, but we know how Vince is, and Vince is.
Well, he can compartmentalize.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things.
He really can.
Yeah. I mean, it's, good or bad. I mean, some people may look at it like it's good. Some people may look at it's bad. But he may go, my mom would expect me to, all these people around here are depending on me. I need to focus on that just for right now. And then, it's kind of like Brett Favre. The day Brett Favre's dad passed away.
Yep.
Remember he was playing the Raiders that night. And even as a Raider fan, I was like, oh man, my heart goes out to him. And then of course you saw even in the black hole, they had signs holding out supporting him.
Yeah.
And then he lit them up for like 5 touchdowns in the first quarter.
Yep.
but he was playing on emotion. So, so you never know. I mean, how Vince, he may just leave it up to, to Bruce and to Kevin Dunn and the rest of them, and hopefully not John Laurinaitis.
Hopefully not.
But yeah, but we try not to be negative on this show, but there's sometimes that we just look at the actions of some people and
Yeah.
go, that's not cool, dude. um, but but yeah, hopefully, he can get past this. I mean, because I know when his brother actually died like in the past year or so,
Mm-hmm.
and I know he did take a little bit of time off, for that, but he took about with Vince saying took some time off. I mean, it may just be a couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah, because him. I mean, apparently the man never sleeps.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
so
he sleeps like 3 hours a night, is what I've heard.
yeah, and he may take like a cat nap here and there during the day, and
Mm-hmm.
on their private jet, he may. I mean, some people can do that. They can just like hold on, and they'll just jump into REM sleep like for like 20 minutes and then come back and
Mm-hmm.
they're good. But in other WWE news, and you had texted me this about Jeff Hardy turning down the WWE offer to come back because they dangled the Hall of Fame in front of him like a carrot.
Yep, they wanted him to. They tried to re-sign him, and like you said, they dangled the Hall of Fame induction. Uh, the carrot on the stick, and he said no. And not only did he say no, he asked for his drug test that he took when he was there. So he's supposed, from what I understand, he ended up receiving those about 6 weeks later after he requested them. But I don't know what the results said.
Negative.
Negative.
They came out negative. Yep, I've already saw that in a couple of different sites. And can you say, "Oh no, we're going to get sued"?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I get it on his part, but also get it on their part too. It's like you can't just drop out of a match,
right?
Wander through the crowd, and given his history, not for them to expect,
right.
You got on their part, it's like this guy has a history of substance abuse, and now he's acting extremely erratic. And what's going on? I get him being mad because he didn't do anything, but my thing is, what was the explanation for leaving halfway through the match, wandering through the crowd, and just leaving the arena and not showing back up for the rest of the weekend?
I think he may have been mad about something that could possibly be it. That's definitely not the best way to handle it. I mean, the dude's like in his early 40s,
Here's my thing though. It's like I like Jeff Hardy. I appreciate everything that he's done, but he's got to stop. He needs to retire because you can tell when he wrestles, he can barely walk as it is. And he's going to get to a point, he's going to do some damage to himself that he cannot come back from. Because now it's like all Jeff Hardy's known for is high spots.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not about, and the dude can wrestle, in his day, he was an excellent pro wrestler, but now it's just, WWE used him to pop the crowds with the high spots. And it's like, you're putting your body on the line every night. I mean, recklessly, and for what?
Exactly. And I mean, I know people are waiting for him to join AEW. Who's to say he won't run into the same issues? I mean, and I feel for him. I really, really, really hope he stays clean. For his sake, his family's sake, and for his opponent's sake, because you have an impaired wrestler. I mean, you're asking for a lot of trouble.
Yep. I mean, you look at Victory Road, how he came to the ring against Sting, and when he was in TNA, and that's just a dangerous situation for everybody involved. From what I read, this was WWE's way of trying to stop him from reuniting with his brother in AEW, because they know if Hardy Boys get back together in AEW's tag teams division is extremely stellar. And all of the great matches that they could have with Jurassic Express, Ortiz and Santana, the Lucha Brothers, the Young Bucks, Kings of the Black Throne, just all of these different teams they could have such good matches with, and WWE is probably like trying to do damage control and see if they can get him back. And he was like, "No, I don't think so."
And just them dangling the Hall of Fame, that's a that's a different one. because they said they were going to put him in like this class, and I'm like,
the 2022 Hall of Fame.
That makes zero sense because I mean, normally the Hall of Fame you should really reserve for people who are done. You know, because you don't see any other. Well, okay, I take it back. Like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because music is a little different.
Yeah.
You know, but like any kind of sports Hall of Fame, you can't go in. You can't be eligible until you've been retired for what, like 5 years.
Yeah. Yep.
And you know, at WWE, they have people, they retire and all of a sudden they're coming back. It's like, all right, well, guess what? We're taking you out of the Hall of Fame then.
Yeah, it's like, Edge is a Hall of Famer. Beth Phoenix is a Hall of Famer. They're both back wrestling, and it's like, if you and you know they want the Hall of Fame to be considered legitimate, then treat it like a legitimate Hall of Fame.
And that is something that we are actually going to be discussing on a future episode. We've already been kicking around that idea, and yes, I am aware that we have a Hall of Fame episode last year with Kyle when he was still the co-host, but this is kind of a continuation and this is this year's, because things change. And it was actually Justin, once again, he also suggested that one, even though I did tell him, hey, we already have I'm already been kicking around that idea anyway, you know, but they are so good about it. I mean, they have some really, really good ideas, you know, at Jay and Trey. They're actually they're doing their podcast live right now as we speak. And they're doing their own Rumble preview, because I did watch a little bit of it, as much as what I could, because I had to start prepping for ours. But yeah, those guys, they've been so good to us.
Yes,
they have been just putting us over left and right on their show. And so, I mean, I feel like I don't know if I could pay them back enough for all the things they've done for us, but I'm certainly going to try. You know,
that's a good group of guys right there.
Yeah, they are. And I'll be glad when I was talking to Justin, I was talking to him before, and I said, oh yeah, I think it was actually on our show, or maybe when we were in their show, but I said, I remember them being behind me in line as we were getting ready to go into the Ludlow Theater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I remember seeing Trey in his scooter. And I remember when they were helping him get in the ring when they were taking pictures. I was like, oh, okay. You know, it looks like those guys are, they're pretty into it, you know. And I was like, you know, maybe I get a chance to meet them at some point, you know, because after that show was over, I was actually talking with a few of the wrestlers. So I had a few I had to talk to about our future episodes. And then I couldn't have them step out of the way because they were tearing the ring down. But yeah, I do believe they are at Ludlow next Saturday. And then they're going to be at Mount Orb, I think, the week after that. So I will have to look at their schedule, because this past few weeks with me being sick and my car being in the shop, and my car is still in the shop, and you know, I had a water pipe leading from the water pump to somewhere else that basically busted, and so yeah, that'd be $650.
Oh
yeah. So that always hurts. So yeah. So then this morning I had to go get like bread and milk, and so I'm getting like the generic bread and you know, because sometimes, I mean, you know what, things happen. So but fortunately, I mean, I'll have my car back some point next week, you know, because the garage that has it, I mean, I actually trust them quite a bit. So they specialize in import cars. I have a 2013 Mini.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Mini Countryman, the 4-door Mini. And you know, and it is a good little car with absolutely great gas mileage, and that thing will absolutely scoot. I mean, I've hit triple digits with it before on the way it works. So, and I was still getting passed. That's the scary thing. Yeah. So, but anyway, on to wrestling. More wrestling. Did you happen to watch SmackDown last night?
I watched the clips on YouTube this morning.
I'll tell you what, the first thing that comes to mind is they said Sonia and Naomi are going to have a match tonight. And I'm like,
yeah, I was like,
why?
Again? But at least.
But then the match happened.
Yeah.
Oh my, the match itself was really good.
The match was good, because I mean, Naomi's really good, and Sonia Deville does not get enough credit for how good she is.
Yeah.
And yeah, and Naomi, I was surprised. Naomi beat her clean.
Right there.
Yeah.
And you know, to me, I mean, that was Sonia's first match in over a year.
Yeah.
And so this may have been kind of a tune-up match to kind of get her a little bit of the rust off. And I think Naomi may have been a perfect person, the perfect opponent for that, to kind of help her out and, and give her a good match. And to me, honestly, this is one of the best matches I've ever seen out of Naomi also.
Yeah. Yep.
Because she wasn't just doing, all right, here's my butt, boom. I can't think of the backsider or
rear view.
The rear view. Which that's one of the goofiest moves ever. But hey, it's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably more effective than the people's elbow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
but man, good match. I loved her split leg moonsault. I mean, she executed that perfectly and pinned her. Boom, 1, 2, 3, and then Sonya went out and was mad and screaming, throwing the after him, and then she said, "I'm going to be the Royal Rumble." I'm like, all right, well, that's another one that we know of.
Yeah, it's like, again, it's like, stop giving away all the entrants. It's like, and I know they've done that for years, but I've never liked that aspect of it.
Not like, this many though.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, actually in 92 when Flair won, they listed every single person. Like at the beginning of the pay-per-view, they listed every single person in the Rumble.
But I mean, that was 30 years ago though. I mean, that was, and then I watched it again the other night, and I was just remarking about, well, first, how many of the wrestlers who came in there are now dead. Because for some reason, my son used to ask me that, are they dead? What? No. And then they said, they dead? No. That was dead. Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
he's dead. Yeah. Kerry Von Erich, he's dead. Yeah. Big Boss Man, he's dead. Snuka's dead. But I mean, the star power of that one was just unreal.
Yeah.
Because when we were listing the the former world champion, just the ones that were former champions at that time, we didn't even mention Savage.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, somehow we skipped over him, but you look at all the other names. I mean, it's hard to list all of them. And Savage, we did mention Savage, and we mentioned him sucking at Royal Rumbles because because that when he jumped over the top rope, and the announcer was like, nobody threw him out, so he can go back in.
He can come back in.
Yeah, he was supposed to be in the final four.
Yeah.
And nowadays they just improvise. They're like, he's out. We're not even going to fool with that.
Somebody messes up, they just kind of,
But now, I mean, and that was only the 5th Rumble. Well, now we're talking the 35th Rumble. So now people are, they kind of want that surprise, and now they're looking forward to it. And that was the first Rumble, I think, that the 92 one was the one that people were really paying attention to because it was crowned the world champion. And then after that, it's like, well, whoever wins it now gets the world title shot at WrestleMania. All right, so now we're going to be, all right, who's in it? Who's in it? Who's the next person? Okay, who's the surprise? Who's surprised? Johnny Knoxville. What? And
my thing is where they do all these qualifiers or like they, how they used to do years ago, they used to have qualifying matches for people to get in the Rumble. It's like your roster is kind of thin. There's no need for qualifiers. Put the people in there that you got.
Yeah. And then, go look and go, well, crap, we still got a couple of slots to fill.
Yeah, we still got 10 slots left. So what do we do now?
Yeah, it's like, hey, Johnny Ace, you still got your wrestling gear?
Yeah.
I don't know, boss. I might.
It's like, come on, clown shoes. You got to get ready. Let's go.
Yeah, hey, Kevin Dunn. Yep. Can you wrestle? Nope.
Too late.
Too late. You're in, dude. We need a number. We can't be number 30, but you can be number 27. Number 27. No, number 27 is one more than anybody else. It's only been like four or five now, but either way, still. But yeah, like you said, they thinned out the roster, and then are like, oh, we don't have enough people.
Yeah.
And I don't get the point of having Johnny Knoxville in there because. I'm sorry, WWE, even though they've kind of, their stock has kind of fallen, kind of literally, they're still a bigger name than the Jackass movies.
Yeah. They're so desperate for mainstream buzz that they will include anybody in their product, and it's like, there's nothing wrong with that on a small scale. But you don't put Johnny Knoxville in the Rumble and take a spot away from someone who has worked all year to possibly be in the Rumble.
Right. And, if we look at some of the other matches, and we can go through these. I mean, I'll just go through them in the order Well, almost the order that Wikipedia had, because they had the men's and then the women's rumble mentioned first. Some of these other people involved in these other matches, I mean, they could also be in the rumble, but some of these are also title matches. So it's kind of
Yeah.
But I'll go ahead and get this match out of the way because I think the match itself is stupid. I'll just say the Copelands versus the Mazanins.
Yeah.
I don't understand the point of this match. Besides, this is your bathroom break match.
Yeah. I don't care anything about this match. I mean, I'm gonna watch it, but I'll be glad when it's over. I have nothing about this match interests me. And this whole storyline has gone on way too long. But the one good thing about it is it keeps the Miz and Edge away from the main event.
I can see that. And those guys, I mean, they can still wrestle. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, they can still wrestle, but I have no desire to see either of them in a world title match ever again. I think Edge needs to go ahead and retire before he does before he does some damage to himself and that he can't come back from. I think the Miz is I think he's a great mid-card heel, but as far as world title aspirations, I think that ship has sailed, or should sail, for both of them. They need to focus on other people. Vince McMahon keeps talking about how WWE creates new stars, and it's like, where are the new stars? Every time you take a chance on somebody, Kofi, Big E, things like that, you always strip it from them and go back to the status quo. So how is that building new stars? Brock Lesnar is not a new star. Love Roman Reigns, love the work that he's doing. Roman Reigns is not a new star. You're going to ride these guys out too long because you don't have anybody in place to succeed them.
Yep. I couldn't put it any better than that. I mean, I think it's a perfect analogy. And, they're becoming very, very formulaic. Because even when I turned on SmackDown last night, and of course, Charlotte came out there first, talking about how she's going to be in the Rumble match, which I don't understand the point of that either. But
because they haven't built anybody, they don't have enough women on SmackDown to build up any new feuds for Charlotte. So they had to stick her in the Rumble just to get her in there, just to get her on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's very true. And
because they won't pull the trigger on her and Shayna Baszler, which should be the title match.
Well, Shayna came out there first.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, I'm not going to get too excited because I know they're just teasing me with this and not going to do right by Shayna, so I'm not going to get hyped up about it.
And Shayna's promo, I mean, she sounded very Ole Anderson like with her promo.
Yeah.
So but yeah, of course they had another interruption, then another interruption, then another interruption. And What Culture, they do their interruption count.
Yeah.
And that's the first I got to thinking of. I was like, okay, he's tallying them up right now. I haven't even watched their up and down yet
I hadn't either, but I'm sure he was like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now look here, there's another interruption.
Yeah.
And I love that dude's cool. We need to you know what, we need to get him on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I'll see if I can reach out to him.
Okay.
And he may go, what? But either way, so they're becoming formulaic, and so this Copeland versus Mizanin, they're not calling it that. I'm calling it that because saying Edge and Beth versus Miz and Maurice, and this will actually be the first time I've really seen Maurice wrestle. To be honest with you.
Well, they're calling it the It couple versus the Grit couple, and it's like
that just sounds dumb.
Extremely dumb.
Yep.
Sounds like a TV writer came up with that and was like, "This is the best thing I've ever done."
You know what? This sounds like Norman Lear back in 1975.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
yep. And in 75, it would have worked.
Yeah. It versus Grit. And like,
yeah.
It versus Grit. I love that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, back then, the TV shows were very formulaic because you watch Welcome Back, Kotter, and every time you're going to have somebody saying, "Hey, up your nose with a rubber hose," and you're going to have, "I'm so confused," So
Yeah.
that's the kind of stuff. That's what this match is. It's the welcome back Cotter match. It's
Yep.
very and nobody's going to want to watch it.
No.
And I'm probably going to go pee.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go fix me a drink and a snack while it's on.
Yeah, a sugar-free snack.
Yeah.
It's because we know that's being dwelling. Because we're old. We used to be indestructible, but no longer.
But, no.
And my notes, I actually put no reason for the mixed tag team match, but the Copeland team is going to win.
Oh yeah, definitely. Edge is not losing this match.
No.
One, they're not going to have Edge lose. They rarely do on this comeback. Plus, it's not going to hurt Miz to lose.
No.
Miz is as far as Miz is, a top tier heel in WWE. He's pretty much Teflon now. It's not going to hurt him to lose a match.
And then they'll get their revenge for Maurice hitting Beth Phoenix upside the head with a brick.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's a real sentence.
Yeah.
So, and to be honest with you, this sounds like the kind of fight that we would see outside the mall.
Yeah. Complete with the brick in the purse.
Complete with the brick. Two couples getting a fight and somebody gets hit in the head with a brick.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we know people that have done this.
I'm pretty sure that happened at the old Kmart parking lot one time when we were in high school.
Let's say which time. I mean, there was a few fights behind there.
Yeah.
So, because you couldn't have it at the mall, too many cops, and everybody would just shift over to the Kmart right beside.
Yeah, everybody would shift to Kmart because they got run off from Walmart. So.
Yeah. So anyway, but enough about that match because, well, I don't even think they care about it.
Yeah.
So, now Becky Lynch versus Dewdrop. And actually, I'll go ahead and say this about all the title matches, and just kind of give my own, I guess, spoiler for me. I don't think there's going to be one title change tonight because I think they're all going to build up the chase.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think Becky Lynch and Dewdrop, I think that's going to be a lot better match than what some people will give it credit for.
Yes, because Dewdrop she's a fantastic wrestler.
Yeah.
And when Becky leads all of the showy stuff, the big time Beck stuff, when she leaves that at the door and gets to work, Becky can go. So I mean, we know Becky can go. So this should be a really, really good match. Sorry, I've got a bulb that's going out.
Yeah, that's always fun. Now I'm looking around at mine. Yeah, but thankfully, the thing about during the day is if my lamp that I have immediately behind my computer, if for some reason were to go out, well, the daylight's coming in, so it won't be as bad.
Yeah.
As long as the dog didn't start barking. Anyway.
But I think Becky will win. They're not going to strap Dewdrop. Not yet.
Not yet.
Especially not at the Rumble. They're just because I think some other plans are in place for Becky down the line. So, but I think it's going to be a really good match. But I say Becky wins. Becky should win. Becky will win.
Becky will win. Yep. And I think Dewdrop, I think they're kind of making her out to be like the next Nia Jax in a way. Because we're looking at a bigger woman, and except for and Nia Jax could go, but Dewdrop I think could go even more.
Yeah.
And because when she did that the other day, and I don't really know the name of the move. I've always loved the move as your opponent's laying kind of perpendicular to the corner, I guess you want to put it, and you're in the second rope, and then you come off with that, you jump legs out, all of a sudden you're parallel to the mat, you come down with a splash. I can't think of the name of it.
Oh, the Vader bomb.
I guess it is a Vader bomb, isn't it? Yeah. Vader was the first person to do it, but Vader was the one who really made it famous.
Yeah. She's done the Vader bomb, and then I think it was last week on Raw, she did the bonsai drop to Becky.
Okay.
They were in a tag match, and she pulled Becky to the corner, tagged herself in, beat Liv Morgan, and then did the bonsai drop.
Okay, so they're capitalizing on her being a little bit of a bigger girl. So now she's not as big as Yokozuna.
No,
because nobody was as big as Yokozuna.
No.
And if they said you're going to take a bonsai from Yokozuna, I'd say I quit.
Yeah.
I don't care how safe he is, but
guys have said that that have taken that said that it was the safest move they've ever taken because he always managed to carry the weight. He could make it look like he just caved your chest in, then barely touch you. So, I mean, the guy was good.
Oh, yeah. And I personally think they're wasting having Dewdrop in this match. They should have put Dewdrop in the Rumble.
Yes.
But, and this is something I kind of had thought, but yeah, the guys, and this is why I love watching the TNC, Jay and Trey. They actually mentioned this as well. They said, well, there's always a chance that somebody who's in a title match before the Rumble and they lose can always put themselves in the Rumble match.
That's true, because they've done that before. I mean, Becky's done that. I mean, Becky lost to, the year Becky won the Rumble, she lost to Asuka, earlier in the night, and then came in and replaced Lana and ended up winning the Rumble.
Yep.
And especially in the Attitude Era, a lot of times at the Rumble, they would have guys would have multiple matches. They'd have a undercard match and then be in the Rumble later.
Yep. Because even 92, Piper won the Intercontinental title earlier that night and then was in the Rumble. So he could have won both titles in one night.
Yep.
And that'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. That would have been cool.
So, I mean, I could see Dewdrop coming into the women's run. If this match is if this match was the very first one, then watch for Dewdrop to enter herself in the Rumble.
Because it's going to give her time to rest before, she has to come back out.
And because I remember when Becky Lynch did that, when Lana was limping. Lana, she was never going to make it to the ring anyway.
No,
because she had that very pronounced limp, and she was taking a little bit of short steps, and that was actually from the very first match of the evening, or like the pregame or whatever. And because I remember I was like, man, they did that perfect. I mean, they had just one match effect, I was like, okay, that one I'm going to give that to them. They did some great storytelling there. So look for Dewdrop to possibly come in the women's Rumble, regardless of this, because there's still 7 slots they haven't talked about with women's.
Yeah.
And so which one you want to hit next? Brock and Bobby or Roman and Seth?
Let's do Brock and Bobby.
Like I said, Brock's still going to walk out as champion, just because the build. I think it'd be better to build the chase, this way. But I could see this. I think the best thing for this one is to have like a double DQ. And I'm talking like these two are fighting it outside the ring, into the crowd and everything else, where it's no longer about a title. I would like to see that, but I think they're going to put Brock over, and it'll probably be a dirty pin. It'll probably be like Heyman interfering or something.
I'm hoping that Heyman interferes, but he interferes to screw over Brock. And this has been an elaborate scheme with him and Roman to screw Brock over, because I think it would be better if Brock's still going to challenge Roman eventually at WrestleMania, and Brock, because they're not going to do champion versus champion. They're not going to unify the titles. So there's no point in having Brock be the WWE champion. And then this Roman Brock feud has both world titles held hostage. I would prefer to see Bobby Lashley win the WWE title. I know I say it all the time, but Bobby Lashley is absolutely everything you would want in a world champion to represent your company. He carries himself like a champion. His promos have gotten. He's learned his niche as far as giving a promo. Keep it short and sweet. Any long promos need to be done by MVP, and I think him and MVP have that worked out perfectly.
Yes.
And just everything about Bobby Lashley, to me, has always screamed world champion. And I think he should win, but I have to agree with you, and they're going to go with Brock. Whether clean or dirty, I think they're going to have Brock retain, but I think Bobby Lashley should win. Should win the title, not just win by like disqualification or something.
Doing a break real quick. Just got a notification. Not even about wrestling.
Okay.
Tom Brady to retire after 22 NFL seasons.
Yes. Yes.
So
sorry, I was a little too happy about that, but sorry.
It's only come across one news outlet so far, but yeah, Tom Brady to retire. So he's made his millions. He's married to a supermodel. He's got kids, got family. He's got endorsement deals. He's got like so many NFL records, plus the record for the most Super Bowl rings.
Yep.
You're good, Tom. Don't kill your legacy.
Yeah. Now get out of the way.
Now get out of the way, because Patrick Mahomes he's coming up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just wish he played for a different team other than the Chiefs, but that's another story. But anyway, we'll give football predictions before we're over too.
Yeah.
Because I can't help it. I mean, this is conference championship weekend. That's why the Rumble's on a Saturday, not a Sunday. They actually looked at the calendar this year, like a few years ago.
Yeah.
Thanks, Triple H. Anyway, but I could see the Hurt Business interfering in this as well.
I could too, but that situation has been booked so stupid. It's like you had this awesome stable that everybody liked.
Yes.
Even I know they were heels, but everybody loved that stable. You had an amazing manager and MVP and three guys that can go. At one time, they were the WWE tag team. They were the Raw tag team champions and the WWE champion.
Yep.
It's like, but instead you break them up and then you just keep feeding them to Lashley. What sense does that make? Just put them back together.
Yes.
That way Bobby wins the title and he's got people to run interference for him.
Mm-hmm. But think about who one half of the Hurt Business is, and Brock Lesnar's old roommate, and that's a shoot.
Yeah.
That's his old roommate from college.
Yep. They were also the OVW tag team champions.
Mm-hmm. And they have a lot of history. Now, granted, he may still be a little salty about Brock throwing him out of the Rumble a few years ago. But he's like, yeah, we're gonna do this together. All of a sudden, whomp. He's like,
yeah,
sorry, dude. He just kind of looked there like, man. Anyway,
like I fell for it.
I fell for it, but I mean, I don't think there's going to be one scientific move in that match. I mean, you're going to see some good wrestling moves, but it's going to be a lot of like your waist locks, and it's going to be a lot of suplexes, I think, from both men.
I think there's going to be a lot of submissions and power moves.
Yes.
Not to say that both guys aren't technical, because they both are.
Yeah, they very well could be.
Yeah, but
I think Bobby more than Brock.
Yeah, but I think, and I mean, Brock can. It's just that's just not the way they book him. They just book him as a monster.
Yeah, it's kind of like when Kevin Nash, when he first went to the WWF back in like late '93, early '94, and he did a sunset flip on somebody in the ring, and as soon as he got back to the back, Undertaker grabbed him and put him aside and said, "Don't you ever do a sunset flip again." He said, "You are 7 foot tall. 7-footers do not do sunset flips."
But I don't get why the Undertaker's saying that, because he was doing planches over the top rope and he was almost 7 feet tall. So it's like, you can't chastise a guy for doing Undertaker probably said it because it's like, I'm the only 7-footer that's doing these high flying moves.
That could be it, because Andre used to get all butthurt about John Studd stepping over the top rope. And that was his reason. He did not like John Studd. He'd step over top rope.
Yeah.
It's like, well, look how tall he is. He can't help it.
Yeah. And Andre's like, no, that's my thing.
My move, my thing. And if Andre wanted it, well, Andre usually got it.
Because who's going to stop him?
Harley and King and Haku, they were the only two.
They were the only ones. Yeah, they were the only people that Andre was afraid of.
Yep.
But other than that, it was like Andre was like, no, I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Okay. But so now Roman and Seth. The Usos are barred from ringside. However, that does not mean that somebody else can't be at ringside. It just said the Usos.
Yep. It just said it just said the Usos. But I mean, if they pull the Heyman swerve and he's actually still with Roman, he could be there. The story to this has been annoying, honestly, because I'm getting to where Seth is annoying me, because it's like all the over the top wannabe Joker laughing thing. It's like, please stop. You're getting on my nerves now, and I have no interest of hearing you talk.
I don't want to see somebody like that holding the world title.
No, I don't either.
Whatever. I mean,
there are rumors going around that Seth might win. which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because why would you interrupt this championship run of Roman for Seth Rollins to be the one to beat him? And nothing against Seth Rollins, fantastic wrestler and everything, but he's not the future, so to speak. I mean, he's a multiple-time world champion. He's a Grand Slam champion. He's won everything that there is to win. It's like, that's not the person that you break a historic championship reign for. The same way that when they broke CM Punk's, historic reign by giving it to The Rock, which made no sense then. As much as I'm a fan of The Rock, it was stupid. There should have been somebody in place to beat Punk that could capitalize off beating Punk and breaking his title reign. Same thing with Roman. It's got to be somebody that can benefit from it. It's not going to do anything for Seth except add another notch on his championship resume. So to me, there's no point in Seth winning. I think Roman's going to win, but knowing how WWE books stuff, it would not surprise me if they found a way for Seth to win it.
And when Seth held the world title a few years ago, before he got hurt, I mean, I know he legitimately got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't setting the world on fire for me.
No,
I mean, it just.
I mean, when he first won it by cashing in at WrestleMania, I was like, okay, that's an awesome start, But then it's like he was just the Authority's lapdog. They made him just look like a punk every single week. There's a difference between being a conniving heel and this being a stupid heel. Yeah, stupid heel, a puppet. And that's what Seth was. Seth was just the Authority's puppet. They made him look weak every single time, like he could not win on his own. And I get your heel, you're supposed to have some help, but they would throw every member of the Authority at a guy in order for Seth to be able to beat him. And it's like, you're not making Seth look good.
No. And I mean, Ric Flair could still actually win the matches on his own.
Mm-hmm.
It was just nice, for him to have the Horseman.
Yeah, it was nice to have backup, but he could beat somebody on his own. I mean, he did.
And he did. And I like I said, I mean, I don't think there's going to be any title changes tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But with them saying the Usos are banned from ringside, but who else could actually show up?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the mystery for me.
And they've been playing off of the whole Shield breakup thing for far too long. It's been 8 years, people. It's done. Why keep dragging up that storyline, especially when you can't bring you don't want to bring Moxley up. And it's like, you can't act like that the Shield was just two people.
Right. And John Moxley is not going to be coming back to the WWE anytime soon.
No.
So don't look for him to be the person all of a sudden who shows up on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. This Forbidden Door. Okay. One person has come in.
Yeah.
One. But that's not, that's not an entire entryway. That's one person.
And here's the thing with the Forbidden Door. WWE, as usual, are late jumping on that bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
AEW, Impact, New Japan, they've been doing this for a year and a half now of, interacting with other companies, Ring of Honor, GCW, all these companies have been interacting with each other for the last, almost 2 years now. And WWE is just now, like in 2022. Oh, what's this Forbidden Door thing? Oh, we got to try to drag some people through it.
Cross promoting? What?
Yeah. What is that? It's called not living in a bubble.
It's called, hey, Vince, your dad used to do that sometimes.
Yeah. Your dad did that. I mean, he he had a handshake agreement with every promoter in the country.
Mm-hmm. And that's why all of a sudden you saw Dusty Rhodes up in Madison Square Garden against Billy Graham in a Texas Bull match.
Yep.
And you saw Backlund against Flair.
Yep.
Or even Race and title versus title, which we knew they never unified. But it was just great seeing champions from different organizations going head to head. Yeah. And how excited did you get when they would do like Starrcade and some of the other super cards back then before they were called pay-per-views?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like, oh, the AWA World Tag Team Champions, the Road Warriors. I remember them. They're going to be coming here against the Koloffs.
Yep.
title versus title, NWA versus AWA, or sometimes you'd see him come up. Well, the Florida heavyweight champion, Mike Graham, is going to be coming up here defending his title against like Jesse Barr or somebody like that.
Yeah.
And
well, it's like when Mike Rotundo was the Florida heavyweight champion, he ended up having a title versus title match. I forget who the television champion was that he beat, but he won the world television title, then gave the Florida heavyweight title to Rick Steiner to defend. But it was things like that. It's like, and you see that kind of thing in other companies today, just not WWE. And now all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, there's this concept about the forbidden door, so we're going to act like we invented it and try to run with it.
Oh, and one of the other podcasts, it was one of Conrad's podcasts, and I cannot remember who he was talking with, but they were talking about all the different companies, the better known companies that are there right now. And I think Conrad asked whoever it was, which they said they know WWE right now actually made the biggest profit last year. They're like, but which company made the second highest profit as far as like just percentage? And it was GCW.
Because their production costs are low.
Yep.
They don't have the huge overhead of production costs. They do have people under contract, but they also have no issue working with outside talent and things like that. So yeah, they've been making a killing, and they've just been getting better and better.
Yeah.
With every show.
So that means I need to check them out more, and because I already know you check them out. So
yeah.
Where's the best place to check them out? Are they?
I found some. Yeah, I found stuff on YouTube.
Okay.
I'll send you some links to stuff.
Okay. Yeah, Game Changer Wrestling.
Yep.
So, but all right. So back to the Rumble, because we will just next thing you know, we're talking about everything else, and we're watching, and then we start watching people pop pimples on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's easy to do. You go down that rabbit hole, that one's hard to escape.
It really is.
You're like, man, that one's gross. Where's another one? So, but anyway, so I think Roman should win. I think Roman will walk out with the title, but I'm still looking for interference from someone. And for the life of me, I can't think of anybody who could possibly.
I can't either. I mean, if it's not Heyman, then I don't know who could interfere, because there's nobody. I mean, unless Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has been aligned with Seth Rollins, but that wouldn't make sense for Kevin Owens to help Seth win the world title when KO wants to win the world title.
Right.
So I don't know.
I think it'll be somebody that has not been seen already. But then again, I mean, well, it had to be a surprise, kind of like what I mean, they've done it before at Rumbles. All of a sudden, you see the surprise entrant. I mean, they could always have a surprise here as well.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, because like I said, they made a big deal about the Usos not being at ringside. So, yeah, but I think Roman will walk out with the title, though. I mean, and that's the thing. So, now as far as the Rumble matches themselves, I'll go ahead and start with the women's Rumble. They've already announced 23 of the entrants, so there's only 7 spots left. One person who I thought of could be a surprise entrance, but they have not said anything about her being medically cleared, is Bayley.
Yeah, from what I saw on What Culture News a few days ago, that it's, there's an outside chance that she could show up in the Rumble, but they're saying, like, time-wise with her injury, like, it's actually looking more like March would be more when she would come back, like late February, early March,
which would be around 9 months. Because that's what they said before.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, Cena, I don't remember what his injury was, but Cena was supposed to be out for like 9 months, and he came back after 6. And that was for Rumble 2005 or 2008, one of them years.
Yeah, he was back after 4 months, actually. He was supposed to be out. Yeah, because he got hurt in early October, tore his pectoral muscle completely off the bone.
Oh.
He was supposed to be out anywhere from 9 months to a year. Showed up at the Rumble. Nobody knew he was there. Shows up at the Rumble at number 30 4 months later.
Yeah.
None the wear. The dude is superhuman.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, because he recovered. He's like Wolverine. He just he just recovers from injuries.
I mean, you look at the man's workout regime, and he is in such tremendous shape. I mean, so really, it shouldn't be surprising that he came back a lot earlier because a normal mortal person, it probably take them longer than what the doctor said. But with him, I mean, he is in just ridiculous conditioning.
Yeah.
And, well, Bailey, I mean, she's another one that a lot of people, they kind of sleep on that. I mean, she's been like a personal trainer for people. And, so it wouldn't surprise me if she's able to come back. Early.
I just want her to. I don't want her to push it to get back, just to get back for the Rumble and take a chance on not being completely healed and then have a setback.
Right. Now, if she doesn't come back here, she'll come back at Mania.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And I think all of a sudden you'll hear her old music and you'll see the wacky waving arm inflatable tube men all of a sudden go Froop. I think she's going to come back as the Hugger Bailey.
You think so?
I think so, because I mean, I think people like her as the face. Avery, my daughter actually has one of her shirts, like Huggers will hug or something like that.
Yeah, Savannah has one somewhere too.
Yep. Now Avery, she wasn't able to wear it because Avery wears a size small, and this was a medium. So it's a little big on her. I told her, I was like, wear a shirt under it. I mean, but she just didn't wear it. But so she tells you she doesn't like wrestling. Yeah, she bought that when we watched Raw in Columbus a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
The night that they collapsed the ring, Big Show and Strowman collapsed the ring. It was that night. But I could see Bailey if she does come back tonight. I mean, if she doesn't, I mean, like you said, I mean, focus on her health. That's what we do. Because we have mottos around here: family first, our health first.
Yep.
No negative, and but some of those are like our internal rules.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see Bailey come back. I'd love to see her come back as Hugger Bailey, because I think that honestly would probably get a bigger pop than if she just came back. Because when people come back, I mean, regardless of how long they've been gone, they're going to get cheered. Even if they're a huge heel, they're going to get cheered. So and I just don't. People don't want to boo Bailey. I don't know.
That's true. I mean, she did a great job as a heel.
She did.
Yeah.
But but I think she'd be better off as a face. I mean, that's just me personally. Sasha's going to be in the Rumble that was announced last night. Sasha and Aaliyah, that their name is the 317.
Yeah.
And then there was another one they showed backstage. Whatever they do in the Rumble, they need to wear something that's not showing like their entire. Did you see like the pants or whatever their outfits they were wearing?
Yeah,
that was a lot of skin. I was like, okay. You sure heard what my wife was saying about them.
Did you notice how Charlotte no-sold Sasha throwing her over the top?
I'm going to have to go back and watch that because
it's instead of landed on her butt, which everybody else does when they get thrown over the top, she landed on her feet. When Sasha threw her over the top, Charlotte caught herself so she would land on her feet.
Okay, I did notice it was kind of awkward because I was trying to do a couple of things at once, but I didn't know we got to talk. It looked awkward when she was trying to get her over. It almost looked like they botched something. But but like you said, if Charlotte, I mean, she's kind of showing her butt anyway. So I don't know. Charlotte doesn't need to be in the Rumble, but once again, they don't have a lot of women.
No, they don't, because they released so many. Now they don't have enough to fill out the slots. So the worst thing about this is Ronda Rousey has been confirmed to be in St. Louis. I am very afraid that they are going to have Ronda Rousey come out to the Rumble and win.
I'm going to have a riot in my living room.
I am going to be texting you some colorful words. Because every news outlet that I've either read on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, watched on YouTube, everybody's just overjoyed that Ronda Rousey's coming back and that Ronda Rousey might win the Rumble. No, this is no different than Brock Lesnar or Goldberg coming back, taking somebody's spot.
Actually, I'll say it's even worse, because Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, when they left, to go do their respective things, Brock, of course, went to UFC, and then Goldberg retired and came back, retired. Either way, when they left, they didn't turn around and legitimately bash the industry, bash the fans, and things like that, because Ronda couldn't handle being booed.
Yeah. Well, here lately, Goldberg's been bashing fans a little bit on Twitter. He like the last year or so, because people were complaining because he's been popping up for a month-long storyline, and he was just, so he's been kind of bashing the fans, which I don't think, I never think you should, talk bad to the people that pay your bills, but
right.
But
unless they're trolling you, in which case they could do like what Paige did. I don't know if you have Paige on your Twitter.
Paige is fantastic. That's been the best. That's been the best stuff that I've seen like all week.
Yeah, that dude. She got that dude to shut his account down.
She really did.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like saying something to him, but then again, I was like, you know what? She's got this. She doesn't need me.
Oh yeah.
Because I had a few colorful things I wanted to say to him, but I also didn't want to do it with the podcast account because I'm like, we're family friends. It's like, but she was so fun to watch. I mean, she got that dude to shut his account down. Well, he shouldn't have said what he said to her. Dummy.
No, he shouldn't have.
I mean, she asked a simple question about this Wordle or whatever that game is. Now you can go look up Google. Ooh.
Yeah.
And then he wouldn't shut up. So yeah, she shut him up anyway.
Yeah. But that's what I think is going to happen. And, okay, here's my thing. Bianca Belair should win the Rumble. That way she goes to WrestleMania. She gets her title back from where they screwed her over at SummerSlam. That is how it should go. But that's not how they're going to go, because we need to worry about name recognition. So I think they're going to have Ronda win the Rumble and it's going to go with her and Becky, but they don't realize the dynamic's not the same.
No,
because Becky's not doing the man character anymore. So you're going to have big time Bex, who is supposed to be a heel, versus Ronda, who is going to be a heel because people are going to boo her out of the building.
They are going to boo her hard.
Yeah.
And I think Bianca will still get her title match at Mania. She will finally get her rematch, a good match, the way she deserves. But as far as the Rumble goes, I think it's going to be Rhea Ripley. And I think Rhea Ripley should, and I think she will.
Yeah, I would have no issue with that, because they, like they did with Bianca, they did a fantastic job of removing everything that was amazing about Rhea Ripley. It's like we're gonna take this, bad girl persona thing that you've perfected, and then we're gonna feed you to Charlotte, lose the NXT title. We're going to have you lose every rematch. We're going to have you win the Raw Women's title from Asuka and then lose it to Charlotte Flair because
reasons.
God forbid Charlotte doesn't have 13 world title reigns. But it's just been ridiculous. It's like you have these people with all this talent and you just keep going back to Brock Lesnar, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, Goldberg, things like that. And it's like, you can't tell me that you're building new stars when these are the only people that you gravitate your titles toward.
And I think with Rhea Ripley, I mean, she's got an amazing look also. With her being from Australia, she looks like she stepped right off the set of one of the Mad Max movies.
Yes.
And I think them taking the tag titles from her and Nikki Ash, I think that's kind of preparing her to make a singles run. But I mean, she's got everything about, I mean, to me, she and Shayna Baszler are so similar, except for I like Rhea a little bit better. And I think Shayna Baszler, I mean, she's tough and just, she's another one. It could come down between those two at the end.
Yeah. I love Shayna Baszler. I've watched her MMA stuff, some of her independent wrestling stuff, like all of her NXT stuff. And I don't know who's doing the booking for her on the main roster, but just take a peek at how she was in NXT and just book that.
And one of the things I've kind of noticed whenever you have like the legitimate fighters come in, sometimes it actually hurts to put a title on them. Because
my thing though, it's like Shayna is a much better wrestler than Ronda Rousey. And
absolutely.
I know Ronda was a rookie coming in and everything, but Vince McMahon has gone on record in interviews saying that he did not understand Shayna Baszler's gimmick. It's not a gimmick. She's a killer. She's a killer.
She is, a UFC fighter from like North Dakota.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like Brock Lesnar.
Uh-huh. And they keep calling, they want to call Ronda Rousey the baddest woman on the planet. No, that is Shayna. Shayna would absolutely destroy Ronda Rousey in a one-on-one wrestling match.
And okay, that'd be something I would look forward to if Ronda Rousey came in the Rumble and Shayna's still in there. I would like everybody to say, all right, hold on. And to go out there, get some popcorn, grab a chair, sit down and go, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, because this is going to be good.
The meme I'm talking about, the dude, he's like,
oh. Yeah.
All right, go ahead. I would love to see that because I think those two, it would turn into a shoot fight. And Ronda Rousey, yes, at one point, Ronda Rousey was the baddest woman on the planet. And I think if you would have put me against her, if you actually had her tied down, me in a suit of armor, I might have a 50-50 chance of winning, maybe. Because she is tough.
Yeah.
But when Holly Holm beat her out of nowhere, she's no longer the baddest woman on the planet. She tried to make a comeback and then lost that fight.
Yep. The thing is, she got exposed because, and was she dominant? Yes. Until she made that mistake that I'm going to stand up with Holly Holmes and box instead of doing what has won me championships and won me all this money by keeping it on the ground. Because that's Ronda's strong suit, is keeping it on the ground. Same with Brock. That's how Brock was in UFC. As long as he kept his opponents grounded, ground and pound, it worked. As soon as Brock tried to stand up with somebody, he got knocked out.
And Holly Holmes, she will always be, and not that I comment much on UFC, but I think she will always be known as like the Buster Douglas of UFC.
Yep.
Because she came in and she won. She's only known for one fight, but that one fight is, she knocked out. She was the first one to beat Ronda Rousey. It's like Buster Douglas was the first person to beat Mike Tyson, because we thought Mike Tyson was just unbeatable.
Oh yeah.
You ever try playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out? Did you ever make it to the end?
I made it to Mike, got hit once, and was done.
And that's it. That's all it took.
That's all it took.
Speaking of that game, do you realize we have a friend of ours who we graduated with? Well, I say a friend of ours. I know you've had some issues with him before, but he actually was. He got hit in Nintendo, like one of the Nintendo magazines back then, because he was one of the first 100 people in the country to beat Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. That's crazy.
I'll tell you who it is after you record, but anyway, and I've actually seen him beat the game, so I know it was. I was like, okay. He went all the way through it, and he beat Tyson, and I could make it to Tyson. And like you said, I think I made it into the second round once, and then all of a sudden he just went. You saw that flicker? I was like,
yep. It's over.
I'm gonna go get some pizza. But anyway, but I think Rousey coming back would be a huge. Rousey coming back and winning the Rumble would be a huge mistake for them. Because wrestling fans, we've been loyal to watching wrestling. We've still been watching the WWE because we are wrestling fans. But I've actually hit the point now, because, and partly because we record on Monday nights, but I don't even watch the replays. It's gotten like, because sometimes I'll catch it and go, wow, they're 30 minutes into it and they haven't even had a match yet.
Like you said, it's formulaic. They do the exact same thing every week.
Yeah.
I watch the clips, the recap clips on YouTube. I haven't watched a full episode of Raw or SmackDown in years because it's the same thing all the time.
Same thing all the time. And, so it's hard for me to invest in it. And if they bring back Rousey, where at the same time, I'm waiting for Alexa Bliss to come back. I'd rather see Alexa Bliss than Ronda Rousey. Yeah. And in fact, I want to see the old Alexa Bliss, not the demon without Bray.
Yeah. They're I think that they're headed toward that route because they did trademark the Goddess nickname that she used a few years ago before she switched to the Fiend gimmick. So I'm hoping that that's where they're headed with it.
And you know what? They have not mentioned Alexa Bliss. She's not listed as coming. She could be one of the surprise entrants tonight.
She could.
You know who I hope is a surprise entrant?
Who?
Ember Moon. But it's not going to happen. But I want to see it. But because I think Ember Moon's amazing, and I hope that she pops up somewhere.
Yeah.
I kind of hope she pops up in the NWF, but I know that's probably not going to happen. But anyway, but yeah, I think Rhea Ripley, I think she should, and I think she will. And I get what you're saying about Bianca, because I was actually thinking about her too, but I was like, she could still get her rematch, and I think people would want to watch it, because she doesn't need the Rumble to earn her rematch. She just deserved it. She's a former champion, and they screwed her big time.
Yeah.
I mean, they just, when they buried her at 28 seconds, 24, whatever long it was, it just, I mean, it was like the huge balloon that just completely deflated all of a sudden for no reason other than, oh, Becky Lynch is back. Well, might as well.
Yeah.
Give it to her.
Back to the status quo.
Back to status quo. Her and Seth are the new power couple. And I just haven't been by. Oh, we're also going to turn Becky bad. And it took a while for even that to take hold.
Yeah.
And even now, I mean, I don't know. Heel Becky as champion to me is not as exciting as face Becky as champion.
No. Yeah. Rebel Becky, the man, was a much better champion than heel Becky.
Yep. And but that's why I think Rhea, because she could use this to challenge whoever, really, because she'd be a credible challenger for Charlotte.
Yeah.
Because the revenge for them kicking Charlotte back to NXT just to take the title made zero sense to me.
Yep, because it didn't do anything. It didn't.
It didn't do anything for Charlotte other than to add like another title, to her resume. So you're right there.
Yeah, just chest stuff.
Yeah, did it cough up anything?
No, not this time, but I have been.
So nothing landed on the keyboard all of a sudden?
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've done that. I've done that.
Yeah.
I got to get a new laptop now. I'm not. That's just bad. But anyway, but as far as the men's Rumble, I tell you, I think Big E should win.
I agree,
but I think Kevin Owens will win.
I think Big E should win, but I think a lot of this relies on if Brock retains the title. If Brock retains the WWE title, then no. But if Brock somehow loses the title to Bobby Lashley, I can see Brock inserting himself into the Rumble and winning.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that, but that's a possibility because they did that at Money in the Bank. They just inserted Brock.
That was at the very end.
At the very end, and then they had Ali just at the top of the ladder, looking like a dum-dum, because instead of just pulling the thing down while Lesnar made his way to the ring, he just stood there staring, and then Brock just launched him off the ladder and took the briefcase. So
I'm pretty sure we were passing some very colorful texts that day too.
Yep. Generally, we have a lot of colorful text when it comes to Brock Lesnar winning things he should not win.
Exactly, because that's when they had the boombox or beatbox Brock or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And which I'm like, what in the crap is this? And apparently now he's Cowboy Brock.
Yeah, I saw that. He's got the whole, cowboy hat and flannel shirts and boots and all that. And it's like,
the sad thing
that's probably what he wears at home. But,
yeah, I was gonna say that's probably legitimate for him because I mean he is a farmer, he is a rancher. Yeah. That's legit. So I actually have no issue with him wearing that because he is.
I don't either. But it's like just get the belt off him, and don't have him enter the Rumble and win anything. I just need you to focus more on other talent. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Big E should win, but I think there's going to be some kind of swerve and Brock's going to win.
That's a pretty bold prediction, actually. I'm
hoping I'm wrong. I'm really hoping I'm wrong. But.
Oh, because let me pull up the list of names who all is in it. Let me see, because they've announced 25 of them. Let's see, Angela Dawkins, no. Montez Ford, no, because they're going to keep them together as a team.
Yep.
Either one of the Mysterios, nope, same thing. Ray is past his prime. Dominic's not ready.
Exactly. Yeah.
Austin Theory, good wrestler, not ready.
Not ready.
Johnny Knoxville next. Sheamus, I don't think
No,
anything would be gained by Sheamus winning it.
I don't think Sheamus needs to win anything else either. That experiment has come and gone, and it's never truly worked.
They need to put him and Cesaro back together.
Yeah.
So that was a great team, and I hate that they're not a team anymore. Now they're fighting each other. Damien Priest, I could see. I like Damien Priest.
I like Damien Priest, but they're wasting him with this whole split personality thing.
Yeah, because there's the Damien character, then there's the Priest character.
Yeah, it's like, just stop.
Yeah, just AJ Styles. I mean, I don't want to say he's like an experiment that's come and gone, but I don't think much would be gained by AJ winning the Rumble.
No, when AJ was world champion, I mean, it worked for that time, but I don't see any upside to another AJ Styles world title run.
Right. I mean, I could see him going all the way close to the end because AJ does great in whatever he's in.
Yeah. Now I could see AJ, down the line, maybe having a feud with whoever's champion to help get get the champion over like he did with Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Things like that. But I don't see AJ winning another world title.
No. Big E, we both said our what we think about Big E. I mean, we both think he should win. Happy Corbin, he's annoying.
Absolutely not. No.
I like Baron Corbin. Yeah.
I will turn it if he wins. I will just shut it off. Be like, nope.
Nope. I think something's wrong with my TV.
Yeah. Now, if it was broke Baron Corbin, I could get behind that.
Maybe if it was the original Baron Corbin, I could get behind that one. But
yeah, the lone wolf. Yeah.
Yeah. But corporate when he shaved his head, no. King Corbin,
no. When he looked like a Olive Garden waiter.
Yeah.
So, no.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So what can I argue? How many's in your party, please?
Yeah.
Let's see. Madcap Moss, no. Even though I do think they will use this to kind of put Madcap Moss over a little bit. He's a little different. I'm tired of their jokes, and I think that's what it is. They're wasting. I did notice. My son asked me the other day when Madcap Moss came out. He said, "Why is he wearing just suspenders?" And remember, we had talked about it's like that dude is ripped. They should actually portray that as being ripped, and that was that. And maybe somebody else noticed in that match. It's like that dude is.
They may have because he hasn't had a shirt on since then, and it's like I think somebody must have saw him like without a shirt and been like, "Oh, I didn't know he was ripped like that."
Yeah, they need to show that off. I mean, but now, granted, he looks like a Chippendales dancer now with the suspenders.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, get rid of the suspenders. Just y'all do something. But either way, I mean, I think they could use this as a way to kind of build him up a little bit because who was it that he was wrestling when he got his shirt ripped off? And I was like, you know what?
I think it was Drew McIntyre.
It was Drew. That's right. Because afterwards they hurt his neck.
Yeah.
I was like, he's actually pretty decent. He's in a bad gimmick right now. Him and Happy Corbin, because they're telling the goofy jokes. And last night they were borderline. I don't know if you really call it racist, but it was definitely kind of they were telling like a Scottish joke.
Yeah.
And it's like, y'all need to be a little careful with that. Yeah, Sami Zayn, they're not going to have Sami Zayn win it.
No.
Sami is always going to be top of the middle.
Yeah.
And he's good. He's a very good wrestler. But he's there to help put guys over and give him a good match. And Sami can give a really good match.
And people are mad that Sami re-signed with WWE. I'm not. If that is the best thing for him and his family, same thing with Kevin Owens.
Boom. Exactly.
You do what is best for you and your family. If re-signing with them was what was best, then I'm happy for
him. Kofi, I don't think they'll have Kofi win it. Not with Big E. Big E his stock is elevated over Kofi right now. And where's Xavier?
Xavier had a ankle injury. He is on the road with it. He was on the road with them this weekend, but I don't know if he's been confirmed for the Rumble because he was out for about 4 to 6 weeks with an ankle issue.
Okay. Now I did like watching Kofi and Big E team up last night.
Well, from what I understand, Big E is back on SmackDown, so the New Day is actually
like permanently.
Back.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. They should. They broke them up 2 years in a row.
Yep.
Made no sense.
Nope.
I'm like, that is one of the most popular teams ever. You know, they sell a ton of merch,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna break them up. 0 cents. Kevin Owens, like I said, I think Kevin Owens will win it. Not that he should, but I think he will. And just because he's already in that title picture.
Yeah.
Amos isn't ready.
Nope.
They're all going to team up and throw him out.
Oh yeah.
Orton, they're in his hometown, so he'll do decent, but he's not going to win it.
Yeah, he'll do decent, but he won't win it. They're not done with the RK Bro thing yet, so I don't see them splitting them up. They're still in that feud with Alpha Academy over the tag titles.
Speaking of hometowns, I did notice on SmackDown they did not introduce Corbin as being from Kansas City. You know, because he's a Kansas City native.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they would have, I mean, of course, people would be cheering him because he's hometown boy.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be a heel, so they don't want him getting cheered.
Yeah, he's already posted some stuff on his Twitter about the Chiefs and winning, and you know, I mean, he's obviously, you know, he's pretty ecstatic about, you know, his team going back to the Super Bowl again, or going possibly going back to the Super Bowl again. Riddle, I like Riddle. He's not ready yet.
No.
Chad Gable and Otis, neither one of them. I mean, they're not going to split them up.
Nope, and they're the tag champions, so they're not gonna.
Right.
They're not gonna do that.
Ziggler and Rude, neither one of them, same thing.
No.
You know, Shinsuke. I think people have forgotten he's the Intercontinental Champion. He's going to end up passing up Honky Tonk Man because they forgot about him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is
sad. But
well, I mean, I'd be happy to see him though pass up Honky Tonk Man because I think that record's been going on longer than what he should have never even had that record.
No.
It's like, who's your longest reigning Honky Tonk Man? It's like, the goofy Elvis impersonator.
Yeah,
he only has like 2 moves, and that shake, rattle, and roll neck breaker is not even you know, no.
That's not a finisher.
No, it's not. I mean, and then you have Rick Boo, who got a haircut apparently.
Yeah, he did.
You know,
they're not gonna do anything with him either.
No. I think this is another one they could kind of showcase him a little bit. And then Ricochet, and they've been burying Ricochet, so I know that's not gonna.
Yep.
And there was somebody I was going to text you when it happened last night. I was like, man, this person just got buried. Who was all in the matches last night on SmackDown? Actually, you know what? I'd have to go back and look at SmackDown. I don't remember now, but there was somebody on SmackDown last night. I was like, yeah, this person just is getting buried for no reason. But some of the names they have not mentioned. Let's see, the dude who who got his nose broken by Ricochet.
Rich Holland.
Rich Holland, yeah, he's not listed. That doesn't mean he's not in it. He's just not listed.
Yeah.
I mean, because he has a legitimate nose injury. I mean,
yeah.
You know, so but he wrestled last night. Let's see. Yeah, I'd have to look at the entire roster, but then again, I mean, the surprise entrance made Goldberg's name's not on here.
I forgot.
Yeah. Sorry, dude. Didn't mean to make you cry, but
I forgot all about Bill Goldberg, and I think he's still got one match left on his current deal.
Now, would this count as a match?
I hope so, as long as somebody throws him out.
Yeah. Okay, give Goldberg in there, toss him out,
and then your contract's up. Go home.
Go home, and you know, and just to give you any indication there, Bill, the smoke machine, we got rid of it. We sold it. We sold it on eBay.
Yeah,
we don't have it anymore, so
it's gone.
It's gone. So, and actually, you know what? Since I listed all the men, let me list the women who are confirmed. Rhea Ripley, already told. You know, we already talked about her. Nikki Ash. They're not going to, because I don't think they're as high on Nikki Ash as what they were when they gave her the title. Because even when they gave her the title, all they did was bury her.
Yeah.
And I do like Nikki Ash. I just wish a different character. I didn't like.
I wish she'd go back. I wish she'd go back to Nikki Cross. If they're going to have her be heel, have her be Nikki Cross. I always like Nikki Cross.
The psycho Nikki Cross.
The psycho Nikki Cross
from
NXT. Yeah.
Who also has a master's degree in like English literature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was like,
Yep.
huh. That's like, go figure. So she knows how to, she knows how to
Mhm.
research and play crazy.
Yep.
Dana Brooke, who I actually like Dana Brooke because, I mean, she's one that people sleep on, but I
Mhm.
mean, she's like the bodybuilder and I mean, like legit
Yeah.
tough, but I don't see them putting a title on her.
No, she's the 24/7 champion right now.
Oh, I forgot about that. And R-Truth is sitting there in the background going, but that's my belt.
Yeah. I
My
think
name,
R-Truth is a 52 time. I think that's what they said. I saw it on I think it was on Instagram. They had like a picture that showed like all of his accomplishments and stuff for his birthday. And I think it said he was like a 52 time 24/7 champion.
Wow. You know what? That's another thing they could have happen tonight. R-Truth, he could actually be in the men's rumble. He's, maybe he's one of the five remaining.
Mhm.
And obviously R-Truth, they're not going to have him win it because I mean, because R-Truth, I mean, he's R-Truth.
Mhm.
You put a world title on him, it'll actually lessen him.
Yeah.
But he's there. I mean, just to entertain, and he's very, very good at it.
Mhm.
And that man is our age, and he does stuff that he doesn't have any business doing.
No, the dude doesn't age.
He doesn't.
He looks the same as he did when he was NWA world champion back in 2002.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it true it doesn't crack?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It is.
See, I mean, I can't say that. I'm like, that's why I have all this, to kind of, to hide the cracks. But I could see him if Dana Brooke gets thrown out, wait for R-Truth to do something like come out from underneath the ring and pin her, take the title back, and then take off running.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know what, R-Truth? He's actually one person you kind of sidetrack. I would love to meet R-Truth. I really would.
Me too.
Because he's another one. I mean, he gets the business. I mean, he really does.
Yeah.
He gets his character. He knows that he's past, his prime, but he's still keeping himself more or less relevant.
Yeah. And
so,
he said in interviews, he's like, I get my spot. Not everybody
right.
can be world champion. He's like, I've been world champion twice in my career. So he's like, I'm fine with that. He compared it to like NBA guys, hopping around trying to win rings. And he's like, I don't have any desire to ring chase. I've already been a world champion.
Yep.
He said, I'm on a short list of black men who can say that in pro wrestling. So to me, that is a huge accomplishment.
Well, there you go. I mean, and to know like his background before wrestling, and that's another one. I mean, you could actually make a movie about.
Yeah.
You really could. But let's see, Carmella, she's been champion before. I don't see them giving it back to her now. No. Carmella, she's not the main event type. She's more the mid card.
Yeah. And I wish they'd get rid of that stupid mask she's wearing.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh.
Because I mean, it doesn't protect anything. They're like, it's her protective mask. It's a thin piece of cloth. I'm not going to tell you what it looks like because we're family friendly, but
yeah,
no, stop that.
Yeah. Zelina, Queen Zelina. Nah.
No, I mean, the queen, the crown is as much as they're ever going to do with her.
Yeah, and then once her contract's over, I think she'll be leaving and joining her husband. Wherever he is. Tamina, they've never been sold on Tamina. She's one of the lowest paid women there. For whatever reason. Let's see, Shotzi.
She's not ready.
Nope. Natalia.
Natalia's she's the gatekeeper. They're not going to.
Aaliyah will probably throw out Natalia.
Yeah, to keep that storyline going, but she's not ready either.
You know what? It could be as soon as Natalia gets in the ring, Aaliyah will be right there waiting for her, and she'll toss her out right away. And they'll say another 317.
Yeah.
Let's see. Naomi, who like her match last night with what's her nose, Sonia Deville. I mean, that was a really good match. So I think they're building her back up.
Yeah.
Because remember, she's also a former world champion.
Yeah, twice.
Twice. And I know she got in trouble, not like her DUI type trouble. I'm talking like she got in trouble because she mentioned, somebody asked her, it was a pay-per-view coming up. She was the women's champion at the time, and they asked her if she had a match on the pay-per-view. And she's like, of course I do. I'm the champion. Well, they didn't have anything scheduled for her. And they weren't planning on it. And then next thing you know, I mean, they're like, they had to get something real quick because she had already told them that she's going to have a match. And it didn't go over well with Vince. So that's one of the cases of watch what you say type things. But Shayna Baszler, I think Shayna Baszler, I could see her winning it. I mean, even though I think Rhea is going to, I could see Shayna definitely win it. They're not going to let Charlotte win it.
I hope not. I mean, I could see them doing it just because they want Charlotte to win everything, but I just.
But 30 years after her dad.
Yeah.
Actually, that they don't even want to mention Rick right now. So
nope. I'm surprised that she hasn't just. I'm honestly surprised with, the Dark Side of the Ring stuff with Flair and the lawsuit thing with the man. I'm surprised that they even are still calling her Charlotte Flair and haven't just gone back to just Charlotte.
Yep. Let's see the Bella twins. Yeah. And I think she should have left with him. Because she's never going to get out of that.
Nope.
The Bella twins and Lita. No. Michelle McCool, Kelly, and Summer Rae.
No.
Let's see, Mickey James, she's already got somebody else's title.
Yeah. Now, for me, fantasy booking, I would have her win it, carry the, and then go to WrestleMania, pick your champion, and then you want to talk about Forbidden Door, women's world champion versus women's world champion.
There you go.
But they're not going to do that.
No. Let's see, Bianca. We've already talked about her. Even though, like you were saying, I mean, she's another one who could, she probably should win it. But I don't think she needs it. Because I think she's going to get her match regardless. Liv Morgan, they've really been pushing Liv Morgan. So she's one. Don't be surprised if they have her take it. Sasha, another one. Don't be surprised if she wins it. Sonia Deville, I don't think is ready yet.
I think this is more of a storyline device to keep this feud going with her and Naomi.
Yeah. I could see her and Naomi. One of them is going to eliminate the other. And I don't know who is going to eliminate who, but now as far as like the other five, Ronda Rousey, I guess. Wow, who am I missing here?
I don't know. I know rumor had it that Oksana was spotted in St. Louis.
I did see that. That's right.
I'm trying to think who else. Of course, they reached out to the Iconics and they both declined.
They did it like a boss.
Yeah, it's like no, thank you.
No, it's like no. The last four, because we were already hearing Ronda is going to be there, and actually the last three because if it's like Oksana, yeah, that's it, right? Yeah. I read that also that she was there in the area. I can't think of anybody else that could possibly be it.
I can't either. Somebody asked Nia Jax if she was going to be a surprise entrance, and she said absolutely not. She didn't say it that cleanly, but again, we're family friendly, so I can't say what she said, but I was cracking up because she was like, absolutely not.
I mean, I got to admit, I was pretty stoked a few years ago when I tweeted something, I tagged her and she retweeted it. I was like, dude, check this. Yeah, we're like little kids. I mean, I admit it. Yeah, because I've been retweeted by Nia Jax. I've been retweeted by Chris Jericho twice. Yeah, that's about it. Doesn't beat my daughter being retweeted by Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, oh, you know what? That's pretty cool. So, yeah, I think that's all we have. I mean, I can't think of anything else to.
I can't either. I mean, it should be, excuse me. It should be an interesting show.
Yeah, I'm not as excited about it as what I normally am about the Rumble.
Yeah,
because they've announced almost every single entrant.
Yep, that's me. It's like if they had have left a lot of these entrants to the imagination, I would have been a lot more excited for it. But I am going to watch it. I'm hoping as always, I go into it hoping that they're going to surprise me. Last few shows that they've had actually were better than I was anticipating. So hopefully this will be the same.
Well, the last one they had, the day one premium live event. You and I both were like, it was decent, but it wasn't.
It was decent, but it wasn't. To me, it was an upgraded episode of SmackDown.
Yeah. The Survivor Series, I've already forgotten about it, but I don't remember what we were both saying about it.
I think the Saudi show was the one where
the Crown Jewel. We were both like, yes, that was a really good show.
Yeah.
Because at first we were like, neither one of us, but we were both saying, I ain't going to watch that. And then they put on some good matches. We're like, I guess I'm going to have to watch it now. And then it
well, that's like the next one in February. It's like they're going to have the Elimination Chamber there. So now it's like you're going to make me watch it.
That's another reason why it's a good thing they have those shows over there at night. Because can you imagine standing on that hot metal aluminum steel thing with the Saudi Arabia sun shining on it? Whew. I mean, they say that the inside of the stadium turns into like a convection oven anyway.
Yeah.
And like I said,
excuse me.
Oh, you're fine. I said, I mean, I've never been to Saudi, but I have been to Kuwait, and I was in Kuwait in the summertime, and I mean, the mercury hit about 134 degrees a couple of times. I mean, I'd walk outside to smoke. I'd go, no, I'm going back in. I'll wait. And in a couple of times we had my work site, we actually had a thermometer, and, we told the temperature outside, and where the sensor was outside was in the shade. And a couple of times it said 125. I mean, it was literally 125 degrees in the shade, and that was in Kuwait, which borders Saudi.
Yeah.
And so that heat takes you, it takes you a little bit to get used to.
Yeah.
And you got to think the women have to cover up.
Yep.
So that's one thing I don't agree with. But then again, it's like, not our country, not our laws.
Right.
So, but I mean, they are more receptive to them actually wrestling. So that is a step in the right direction. True. The women, and they're getting paid, so, and they're not making them cover their heads.
Yeah.
Some of the countries, they'd have to cover their heads. Although I will say I was surprised in Kuwait, it was like you had some women just walking around dressed normal, like what we're wearing right now. But then you had some wearing the full on, suits. Like all you saw was eyes. Because one woman, she pushed me out of the way when I was in line at Dairy Queen. And she got yelled at by the guy behind the counter. He's like, and they were both talking English too. It's kind of funny. He's like, we have a line here. Because she told me, excuse me, and just pushed me. But anyway, that's another story for another day. It just wasn't something I was expecting in Kuwait. But yeah, so 7:00 Eastern time tonight is when the pre-show kicks off. 8:00 is when the full show is supposed to start. I have not seen anything. I can't. Well, I think I can't. None of these matches really qualify for pregame match.
No.
Because Edge and Miz, the Copelands versus the Mizanins, they're not going to have that on the pre-show. They're going to have that as part of the thing, because they think Edge is the most relevant person out there right now, and he's not. I like Edge, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's not the Edge what he used to be. Because before he was the rated R superstar, now he's coming out there with his wife. And kind of.
Yeah.
Now I could see them putting the women's rumble on as part of the pregame, show, but just because
I don't think they'll do that though.
I hope not, because actually one of the questions I was going to ask, with their habit here recently, kind of going on whenever they were doing the King of the Ring and then the Queen's Crown, they can't call it Queen of the Ring. Remember the men's matches were like 10, 15 minutes,
Yeah.
the women's matches combined were like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And because even like the final match was like what, 5 minutes, if that. Yeah, they gave a little bit more time. Could you see the women's Rumble match being shortened?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because they just do not care about their women's wrestling like they did just a couple of years ago. It's like one of those situations again where you asked for more legit women's wrestling. We gave it to you. So now shut up. We're going to go back to how things were.
Yeah. And which is a shame because there is the talent level of the women nowadays, I mean, is just phenomenal. And there is no legitimate reason for them not to have a women's roster that is a nice size roster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, remember, this was when Medusa Michelli or Alundra Blaze, whatever you want to call her, when she was in WWE, she said at some point she was the only woman. And so eventually they actually just said, okay, we're done with the women's title for now because there's one woman on the roster and we really don't give a crap.
Yeah. And here's a viewpoint that they have too. And this viewpoint is shared, from Stephanie McMahon on down. They have the view that women's wrestling does not make money.
Yes, it does.
It absolutely does. It does everywhere. It's just WWE just does not want to make their women a focal point of their product.
And the sad thing when it comes to Stephanie saying that, when you see her in the ring, she was actually a pretty decent wrestler. I mean, we're not talking like Bianca, Charlotte, Becky type level, but I mean, she was still pretty decent. She could make a very believable match. She didn't look like it was just awkward for her to be in there. Like some of the Tough Enough people, when they would get in there, they looked awkward.
Yeah.
And she never looked like that. Just like Shane. Shane has no business being as good as a wrestler as what he is. But I would say Shane, his matches are pretty exciting to watch, mainly because he'll throw himself off the top of the roof.
Yeah.
Like every match.
Excuse me.
It's like, Shane, that's not this kind of match. I don't care. He's climbing to the roof and but Stephanie, I think like I think the last match she was in was at one at WrestleMania, maybe, or something.
I think so.
Yeah. And she's always been pretty decent, better than what she should be, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And because she's not a full-time wrestler. So but so for her to say that, is actually kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
But once again, we're listening to the fans.
Exactly.
We're not going to change anything, but we're listening. We are listening. So that made everybody happy. They're listening to us.
Yeah.
Then 2 years later, you're like, they haven't changed anything. But they're listening. They're just listening to what they don't want to do. But anyway, so I'm pretty sure we're going to be texting, during the show. Hopefully they don't give us any reason to text any bad words.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
But I'm pretty sure they will.
Yeah.
So we got about 3 hours before the kickoff show starts. So I need to go ahead and get this rolling so I can get it uploaded so people can listen to us before the show starts. So
I'm gonna get some rest before the show starts.
Yeah, you do. Because folks, this is no, let's say just COVID's no joke. And I've had it twice now, and now Dwaylen gets to enjoy the fun. Because when you texted me the other day and said I tested positive, I almost texted back, congratulations. So but it really is no fun. I'm not even going to tell you the other text messages Dwaylen sent me about how bad he was hurting, but it was they were pretty funny. I showed my coworkers. I'm like, hey, check this out. They were like, what? So, but either way, dude, definitely go get better. If you end up having to like rest during it, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to fault you.
No, I plan on watching it in my bedroom. That way I can kind of lay down and rest while I'm
there. You go, watching
it.
And it also won't be as awkward if you fall asleep.
Yeah, because I'm already in the bed. So.
You're already in bed, so. But get some rest. Tell Hope same thing. Get some rest. I know it's bad for you to drink orange juice right now because I was the same way. I had to break down because it actually helps to break down the phlegm. You already take vitamin C, take zinc. That's another thing that also helps.
Yeah.
And Yeah, you get some, if you need to pop some acetaminophen and ibuprofen, I know don't take aspirin because you can't take aspirin.
No,
So
no.
that'd be bad. But yeah, definitely get better, dude. All right.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
No problem. And Monday will probably be the review show. So unless something happens and we have a different reason,
Yeah.
So, but all right, dude, I'll talk at you then. God bless.
All right. God bless.